In the 15th century, the French astrologer Nostradamus surprised the world with his mysterious prophecies, whose visions seemed to go beyond the limits of time. Among his predictions were the rise of Adolf Hitler, the death of Queen Elizabeth, and many other astonishing events. Now, with the proximity of the year 2025, Nostradamus's prophecies concerning the papacy take on a new meaning. What of these predictions will truly come to pass, and what has already left its mark on history? One of the most discussed aspects is the possible resignation of Pope Francis. In his work of 1555, Nostradamus predicted that this period would bring more global conflicts, including naval battles, as well as disasters in royal households and among populations, which could insinuate the end of a pontificate. Currently, Pope Francis, who at the age of 87 is the 266th pontiff of the Catholic Church, has faced several health problems, generating concern among his followers. His recent absence from the United Nations Climate Conference, due to respiratory difficulties, has intensified rumors about his possible resignation. In Nostradamus's writings, one particular quatrain seems to allude to the current situation of Pope Francis and the possibility of a change in the papacy. This quatrain states that, after the death of an elderly pope, a Roman of good age will be chosen who, although he weakens his mother, will be very active in his governance for a long period. These lines appear to indicate that a middle-aged cardinal could assume the leadership of the Catholic Church after the death of Pope Francis, and that this successor may see the power and influence of the Church diminish, only to restore the strength of the papacy over time through dynamic governance. Regarding the British royal family, Nostradamus's predictions seem to coincide with the current situation of King Charles I, who was diagnosed with cancer at the age of 75, a piece of news announced in February that generated great concern among the public. Although Buckingham Palace assures that the monarch will resume his duties after treatment, the ancient prophecy of Nostradamus has been mentioned more frequently. According to the prediction, a king, known as the King of the Isles, would suffer an abrupt fall, either through resignation or forced removal, reflecting current worries about the monarch's health. The same prophecy also mentions that his successor will be an unexpected figure, with characteristics not traditional for royalty. The British author Mario Eding, who has studied Nostradamus's prophecies, interprets this passage as an indication that King Charles might lose popular support, possibly due to his personal life. This has led to speculations about how his divorce and other aspects of his history could accelerate his departure from the throne. What makes this prediction even more fascinating is the possibility that Prince Harry, who is not the legitimate heir, might end up occupying the throne. Although Prince William is first in line, family relationships and health events can unpredictably alter the course of history. Meanwhile, Harry, who had distanced himself from his royal duties and moved to the United States with his wife Meghan Markle, was drawn back into the family due to his father's illness. Despite the tense relationship, King Charles's health crisis spurred Harry's return to the United Kingdom, which may indicate a possible opportunity for reconciliation within the royal family and the chance for him to ascend to the throne. Although this could represent a positive change for the family, the mysteries and tensions continue to fascinate the public. We cannot fail to mention the mystery surrounding the health of another member of the royal family. In March, Kate Middleton, the Princess of G, made a revelation that shocked the world. Frequently compared to Princess Diana for her style and independent character, Kate kept a painful piece of news secret that finally came to light. On the 22nd of March, she revealed that she had begun treatment for cancer after an abdominal surgery in which doctors detected cancerous cells, leading her to start a preventive treatment with chemotherapy. The Gospel mentions that there will be wars in the future, shortly before the return of Christ, but we also cannot ignore its reference to the Antichrist. Nostradamus astonished the world by predicting the arrival of 3 Antichrists. 2 have already come, Napoleon and Hitler, and 1 is yet to come. Who will this 3rd Antichrist be? Donald Trump, Joe Biden, or even King Charles? Many names have been mentioned in this enigma of biblical proportions. However, the identity of this evil being remains uncertain. Adding even more drama to the situation, the saga continues with the possibility of a final world war, followed by a reign of peace lasting 1,000 years under Christ, after which Satan would briefly return, only to be finally defeated and cast into the lake of fire. It seems we are living the prologue to the ultimate confrontation between good and evil, with the stage set and the players assuming their roles. Climate changes are another aspect in which Nostradamus's predictions make us reflect. We must expect increasingly intense climatic alterations, with violent storms and rising temperatures. These warnings coincide with the current projections of the United States National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, NOAA, which foresees that the year 2024 will be even hotter than the year 2023, with a high probability of being among the hottest years ever recorded. The extreme climatic phenomena include unusual snowstorms in North America, volcanic eruptions in Iceland, and severe cold waves in India. In addition, Nostradamus also predicted great floods, extreme famines caused by climatic events, a devastating tsunami, and a strong earthquake that could cause significant human losses, all of which resonate with the recent severe earthquakes in places such as Morocco. Regardless of whether we believe in these prophecies or not, it is evident that extreme natural phenomena are increasing in frequency and intensity, highlighting the need for greater global preparedness. Nostradamus undoubtedly possessed a unique ability to keep the world in suspense, and his visions of the future were so vast that even today they make us reflect. Ranging from epidemics to wars, his predictions seem destined to challenge our understanding of human destiny. By looking at the past and the future, we perceive how his words still resonate in our reality. Nostradamus also predicted events that profoundly marked modern history, such as the Great Fire of London in 1666. In his writings, he mentioned that the blood of the just will commit an error in London. Burned by a lightning strike for 23 seconds, the elder will fall from his high place, and many of the same sect will be slain. When the year 1666 arrived, the fire devastated a large part of London, exactly as he had predicted. Nostradamus's influence was not limited only to the past. He is also credited with predictions of more recent events, such as the atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, the tragedy of the Space Shuttle Challenger in 1986, and the assassination of American President John F. Kennedy. Although some consider him a visionary prophet and others merely a fortunate seer, the fact remains that Nostradamus left an indelible mark on history, being a figure whose legacy still lives on in the collective imagination. In 1554, Nostradamus decided to devote himself completely to his prophetic career, planning to include 10 chapters with a total of 1,441 quatrains in his books. He committed to writing his predictions in poetic form, a format that reflected his enigmatic style and allowed his followers to interpret his words freely. In 1555, he published his most famous work, The Prophecies, which contained the first quatrains, and since then, his fame has only grown. To avoid reprisals from his numerous critics, Nostradamus used a deliberately ambiguous language, mixing Greek, Italian, Latin, Provençal, and various dialects from the south of France. This linguistic confusion was intentional and aimed to keep his meanings vague enough to allow multiple interpretations, which made it possible for his work to be read in different ways over the centuries, adapting to historical events as they occurred. Moreover, by keeping his predictions imprecise, Nostradamus not only managed to protect himself from possible persecutions, but also created an eternal enigma about the authenticity of his visions. The reaction to his writings was mixed. Some considered him a servant of evil, while others dismissed him as a charlatan or even a lunatic. However, the number of his followers grew, especially among the circles of European high society. Personalities such as Catherine de Meis became some of his staunchest defenders. After discovering a quatrain in her 1550 almanac that insinuated a threat to her family and intrigued and concerned, Catherine convened music. This episode not only consolidated Nostradamus' influence at the French court, but also marked a turning point in his career. For from then on, his name became more closely linked to the elite of Europe. Advancing 4 centuries of debates and reflections, it is clear that Nostradamus left a fascinating enigma, with more than 1,000 predictions that continue to be the subject of study and discussion. Experts claim that more than half of them have already been fulfilled, although not everyone agrees on which of his writings correspond to verifiable historical events. Curiously, Nostradamus assured that his predictions covered the destiny of humanity until the year 7000. According to his texts, around the year 379, the oceans would transform and the isles would disappear, reflecting a cataclysmic vision for the future of the planet. In the current context of 2024, with a volume of information much greater than in the days of Catherine de Mice, we have more tools to interpret which of these prophecies might come true and what their impact on the world could be. Globalization, technology, and climate change are factors that directly influence the interpretation of Nostradamus's visions. Bob Vanga, for her part, predicted significant advances in quantum computing and medical technology for 2024. She also warned about disturbing events, such as assassination attempts against the Russian President Vladimir Putin, terrorist attacks in Europe, and the worsening of climate change. These 2 figures, separated by centuries, offer impressive visions of the future. Some predictions seem absurd, while others are startlingly accurate. However, all of them raise profound questions about destiny, time, and our ability to shape future events. Bob Vanga also predicted a series of alarming events for 2024, reflecting political, social, and climatic crises. Among her most notable predictions is an attempt to eliminate the Russian President Vladimir Putin, possibly linked to the growing political instability and concerns about security in Russia. That prophecy has generated great interest due to the current geopolitical climate, already marked by international tensions. Another one of her most chilling predictions mentions terrorist attacks in Europe. These warnings resonate with the growing fears related to security on the continent, exacerbated by recent events and the threat of extremism. The possible impact of these attacks on European stability in the coming years continues to be a subject of great concern. The seer from the Balkans also mentioned past tragedies, such as the events of 1917 on London Bridge, where an attack with a van left several victims. These coincidences fuel the perception that her visions possess an unsettling degree of accuracy. Bob Vanga did not limit herself to political or social issues. She also predicted that a former president of the United States, Donald Trump, would suffer from a peculiar illness should he return to power. This prediction generated various speculations, especially in the context of the upcoming American elections, highlighting concerns about the relationship between the health of world leaders and their ability to govern. In the scientific realm, Bob Vanga predicted notable advances in quantum computing and medical sciences. These predictions are in line with current trends, where artificial intelligence and personalized medicine are experiencing accelerated growth. The global response to the COVID-19 pandemic spurred medical discoveries and advances in technologies such as genetic editing and vaccine development. According to her visions, we might be close to finding a cure for cancer, a breakthrough that would transform modern medicine and change the course of global health. However, her prophecies also focus on climate change. Bob Vanga warned about extreme meteorological phenomena, such as more violent storms and more frequent natural disasters, due to the impact of human activity on the environment. These predictions sound like an urgent call to address the global climate crisis, with anomalous snowstorms in North America, volcanic eruptions in Iceland, and other recent events that seem to confirm the severity of these changes. Finally, Bob Vanga predicted a significant economic crisis in Europe. Factors such as post-Brexit tensions, the fragility of global supply chains, and regional conflicts could contribute to that instability. Her predictions underscore the importance of preparing for potential financial risks and possible economic turbulence. The most intriguing aspect is how Bob Vanga's predictions for 2024 seem to align with those of other seers, continuing to fascinate people around the world. Despite doubts and controversies, these prophecies raise questions about our ability to interpret and respond to future challenges. They invite us to reflect on how events of the past may connect with current and future challenges, and whether the future is truly written or if we still have the power to change the course of our history. So, what do you think of these predictions? Is the future truly set in stone, or do we still have the power to change it? Leave your comment below, share your opinion, and of course, if you haven't subscribed yet, take the opportunity to subscribe to the channel and activate the notification bell so you won't miss any new videos. We always bring fascinating content about mysteries, prophecies, and much more. Don't miss the chance to stay informed about everything.